I got sued for $1.2 million. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting home one night, got a knock on the door. And when I went to the door, there was a guy there. And he kind of backed up really quick. And he said, "Are you Jim Gibson?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "You've been served," and handed me the paperwork. "Hi, this is Jim Gibson. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming to my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And also, subscribe, make comments, whatever you like. But you'll hear this story. And my story may help you from financial disaster if you listen to what happened to me." So anyway, was I expecting to be sued? Yes, I was expecting to be sued. I was expecting that this guy would show up, knock on my door, and serve me papers. I didn't want to freak him out. I mean, it's just a normal process. I was being processed, and of course I knew that this was happening. My lawyer told me about it. So that's my phone. Excuse me. But my lawyer told me about it, and I knew it was going to happen. So it was no big surprise that this was going to happen. I don't want to freak out the poor guy. He was getting paid just to give me a piece of paper, and I thanked him and had to sign the document. He had some place where I could sign, and I signed, and he went on his way. But I was sued. $1.2 million they were asking for. For what? Well, I'll tell you for what. I had an employee driving one of my trucks, and he got caught in traffic, and it was a two-way street, and he decided to make an illegal U-turn in the middle of the street. And when he did that, a motorcycle came down, and it was really moving, and it hit the side of my truck. And man, it destroyed the side of my truck, and it totaled that motorcycle. But the man was just barely injured, and I really was thankful for that he didn't lose his life. He hit my truck, the side of my truck. The truck pulled out. He hit the side of my truck, and he went in circles like this, I've been told, and landed flat on his butt and broke his wrist. So I was really glad that it was not a permanent injury, breaking his back or something like that, or that he died in the accident. Man, I was really happy. Whew. I missed a bullet on that one. But the bottom line was that they came, the cop came and checked everything and filled out everything. My truck had to be towed, brand new truck, had to be towed. And he lost his motorcycle. Well, the insurance company came in. And of course they replaced my truck and they replaced that motorcycle. I had a small deductible, I think it was like $2,000 or something. So the insurance company covered everything. And as it went on, it came to the point to where it went to court. Took a couple years. I was represented, my company was represented. Of course, I'm the owner of the company, so that's why I was sued. But my company was represented by counsel from the insurance company. And eventually they settled for $800,000 for a broken wrist. Covered all his expenses, lost work, we covered that. We covered the lost motorcycle, things like that. So there was a lot of things that we covered. It was no expense to him, but I'm sure it was a traumatic experience, and I feel sorry for him that this happened to him. And of course, my guy was 80% to blame. I was told that the motorcycle had plenty of time to stop, that he wasn't paying attention, and some witnesses said that he just went full tilt right into the side of the truck, never tried to stop. But still, my guy broke the law. He made an illegal U-turn, and that makes me, the business owner, liable for $1.2 million. Now, again, we settled for $800,000. $800,000. My house is not worth that much. So if I did not have insurance, I would have lost my house. So there's some things I want you to be aware of. If you're thinking about going into business or you're in business, there's a couple things you need to be aware of. Do not go in as a proprietor, sole proprietor. If you do and you get sued, your house, you will lose. You'll lose your car. You will lose your savings account. You will lose your checking account. You might lose your firstborn. I don't know. These lawsuits are getting crazy. I didn't think it was worth $800,000 to break a wrist. I knew it wasn't worth $1.2 million. But I'm thankful for the insurance company that they were able to go to court and win just $800,000, and that was pretty good. And again, I'm really sad for the guy. We were mostly to blame, I'm sure. I don't know all the details. So some lawyer is listening to this and wants some sort of retribution or something. I didn't know all the details. I have forgotten them. It happened a couple years ago. But the point of the matter is, make sure that when you set up your company, that you set it up in such a way that it protects you personally and your personal assets from business liabilities. And when it came to business liabilities, in this case, it was covered by the insurance company, and they could not come after me personally. And I don't think they really wanted to come after me personally. I don't think it was a vendetta or something like that. And usually the lawyer on the other side just wants to get in there, sue you, and get it over with and get out and get his commission. I don't know what the commission is for lawyers that sue. But I do know this, that if I don't get a thumbs up and subscribes and everything else, then to me it looks like no one has really watched this video from beginning to end, and you need to hear the end. But so at any rate, would you please subscribe and also at the same time give me a thumbs up and comment. Has anything like this ever happened to you? So the first thing you got to pay attention to, and I run into a lot of people that do this, they are sole proprietors. Well, sole proprietor means if you get sued, they take everything you have. If you're a corporation or an LLC, they take what the corporation has. So I was an Inc., an S Corp. Now, there's a difference between a C Corp and an S Corp. An S Corp is what they call a pass-through. I am not a lawyer, so do not take anything I say to be legal advice. You are not allowed to do that. You don't pay me anyway, so go get a lawyer. And this does make sense. Get a lawyer to set up your corporation. There's companies out there that will set it up for you pretty inexpensively. And you have to decide whether you want an LLC, an S Corp, or a C Corp. And there is a difference when it comes to taxes. C Corp has to pay taxes as an individual type of thing, and you tax people comment on this. But of course, I am not a tax person. I have an S Corp, which means everything that the business makes comes to me personally. I have to pay tax on that. And that's the best way for me, for my situation. May not be the best for you. The other is an LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, and that's the same thing. You can get pass-through. Now, in each state, it's a little different. Corporations are a state level. They're not federal level. So you have to find out what your state requires and what is best for you. But the bottom line is you got to have a corporation. You do not want to do things as a individual or as a sole proprietor, even though it's tempting. It's the easiest thing. Don't be lazy on this thing. The second thing is you better make sure you have liability insurance because you most likely will be sued. Now, I was just sued one time in 28 years, but $800,000? Man, if I didn't have that corporation in place, if I didn't follow corporate law, if I didn't have insurance, I would have lost my house, I would have lost my car, I would have lost my checking account and some investments to cover that $800,000 or the $1.2 million, and I would have had to pay for my own lawyer if I didn't have insurance. Insurance paid for everything. They were a good company. They handled everything, and that was taken care of. Now, have I been threatened for lawsuits? Yes, I have been threatened a couple times. Did I do anything? No. I had an employee who was on his way to work, and he had a tough night drinking, and he got in an accident, destroyed his car, and of course his father said, I'm going to sue you, you need to replace the car. I never heard anything like this before. That sounds a little crazy. It was his responsibility, his car, he was driving it, and he was drinking. So to make a long story short, I said, no, I am not going to replace your car. But here's my insurance company. Maybe they will. And I just gave him the name of the insurance company, never heard from it again. The lawyers took care of it, so I imagine it did not stand the test of time or the proof that somehow I was liable. Don't know, I'm not a lawyer. So you got to have insurance, has to be a good insurance company. You got to have a corporation. If you are working without being incorporated, this sole proprietor stuff, I don't know how to emphasize it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not run your company as a sole proprietor. You got to be a C Corp, S Corp, or an LLC. There's books on this if you want to read it. But spend the $100, a couple $100, maybe $500, get incorporated correctly, and it protects you in a lot of ways. It also helps you when it comes to taxes. I have a couple corporations. I have one for my investment properties. I have another for my company that still does IT work, even though we don't do very much anymore because I sold most of it. It was kind of interesting. Brand new truck, man. Brand new truck. It took lots of money to buy that truck. Not only did I lots of money, but I had to install things like an alarm system. I had to put a cap on it. I had to put special equipment inside to support what I was doing for IT equipment and installations and stuff like that. Didn't destroy anything inside, and of course my guy did not get hurt. He had a seatbelt on. Thank God he didn't get hurt. But you know what he did? Next day he came into my office. He said, well, where's my new truck? I said, I don't have a new truck for you, but I got an old one, it's a spare. And he goes, I don't want to drive that old one. I said, you just caused an accident where someone is injured, and you're complaining that you got to drive an older truck. I just couldn't believe that he did that, or that he felt that way, that somehow I owed him a new truck. What was interesting, about a month later, he came to me and he said, hey, I was driving your truck and I had an accident, and they increased my insurance. Yes, because you were driving. Well, I was driving for you. Don't you think you should pay my additional car insurance? I said, no, you were the person that illegally made a U-turn on a two-lane highway. One lane going in one direction, one lane going in the other. He couldn't even see if there was another car coming, and he decided to do that. So make a long story short, what you need to do is you got to make sure you got a corporation and make sure that you have solid insurance. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye. Hey guys.